In 1747, no gang was more infamous than the Hawkhurst gang. From 1740 they operated freely across the country, preying on customs officials, transporting seized goods. The gang was tipped off that a customs service ship had captured a smuggling vessel carrying £500 worth of cargo, about £115,000 in today's money. It had been stored in a poorly guarded customs house in Poole. On October the 7th, the gang led by Thomas Kingsmill, they met in Charlton Forest near Chichester. They then began their ride to the Bounty. The local gang which joined the Hawkhurst gang was spooked by a Royal Navy gunboat, so they decided to turn round, but the Sussex smugglers decided to continue. It ended up being an easy job. At 2 AM they broke in, they made off with 1,500 kilograms of tea. The heist even went without a hitch. It was all too much for the government to deal with, so they hoard out a £500 reward, £90,000 in today's money, for whoever could catch the smugglers. For months the gang evaded capture, but eventually the thread began to unravel. Daniel Chatter, a shoemaker, had recognised one of the smugglers, named John Diamond, who had been arrested in Chichester. The customs service called him in as a witness and asked him to travel to East Marden near Chichester to testify, along with a revenue officer called William Galley. The duo got lost and stopped at the White Hart Inn near Hampshire-Sussex border, Chichester, but unfortunately for them it was a smuggler's pub. The two gang members, Will Jackson and Will Carter, drank with the witnesses until they fell asleep, when the smugglers found court documents in their clothes, and then the torture began. Marching them towards Lake Village near Chichester, they whipped them until they could not move before tying them to their horses. When Mr. Galley fell, the smugglers believed that he'd broken his neck, so they decided to bury him. Pictures in the comments. When the old man's body was eventually uncovered, his hands were clasped over his face, leading to the officials to believe he had been buried alive. Mr. Chatter was chained to the shed in a nearby village of Trotton for several days. Smugglers then resolved to throw him down a well and throw stones on him. These cruel murders sparked outrage. In 1748, the London Gazette issued a list of men wanted by the Poole heist. At least 75 members of the gang were either hanged or transported to prison. Other 40 were hanged in chains, their bodies displayed.